You ever notice how the second you stop giving a damn, suddenly everyone's on your line acting like you're the prize they lost in a grocery store? Like, oh, now you miss me? When I was practically begging you to see me, you were blind, mute, emotionally constipated. But the second I decide I'm good off it, now you're awake? Oh, okay. So that's how it is. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I've begged. Oh, I've texted paragraphs. I've triple texted. I've refreshed the chat, like maybe the typing bubble was just shy. I've written things I wouldn't even say to God if we met in person. I've tried. Too hard. For people who wouldn't cross the street if I was on fire. And then, one day, I just didn't care anymore. It wasn't a decision. It wasn't some grand self-love revelation. I just couldn't. I was tired. My soul was like, babe, we've hit the character limit. And weirdly enough, that's when they all came back. Funny how people like the version of you that doesn't like them. Like, oh, now I'm attractive because I'm unavailable? I'm desirable because I'm indifferent? Wow. Your love language is rejection. That's wild. But it makes sense. People crave the energy they can't control. We're obsessed with what's not obsessed with us. You text back too fast. You're needy. You play it cool. You're a mystery. You make someone feel safe. They get bored. You ignore them. They think you're a god. Brother, we're so sick in the head. Like someone gives you peace and you're like, nah, I want the one who triggers my abandonment issues like a slot machine. I used to think love was supposed to hurt. I thought if it didn't have tension, chaos, or a little bit of crying in the car, it wasn't real. Because that's what I learned. That love is sacrifice. That love is proving. That love is waiting endlessly. That love is forgiving things you swore you'd never tolerate. That love is patience, but only if the other person is careless. And then I stopped caring. Not out of bitterness, not out of ego. I just realized I was losing myself trying to keep people who didn't even know how to hold me. And the silence felt better than the confusion. The distance felt more peaceful than the closeness ever did. And when I tell you, life got quiet in the best way. I had space. Space to hear my own thoughts without someone else twisting them into insecurities. Space to feel joy without thinking, I wonder if they'll ruin this somehow. Space to just be. And that's when I saw them. All the people I bent over backwards for, suddenly crawling out the woodwork like, hey, stranger, been thinking about you. I miss us. Sir, there is no us. There was a me doing backflips and a you watching, eating popcorn. And don't get me wrong, it felt good. At first, vindicating. Like, oh, so I wasn't crazy. You did see my value. You just liked watching me suffer for it. You wanted me to dance for your attention. And now that I sat down, you're wondering where the music went. But here's the thing. I'm not performing anymore. I'm not auditioning for a role in someone else's fantasy. I'm not contorting myself into someone who's easier to love. I'm me. Take it or keep scrolling. You ever meet someone and they're like, you've changed? Yeah, healing will do that. Boundaries will do that. Tiredness will do that. You reach a point where your peace is worth more than potential, where your time is not a gift you give people just because they ask for it, where your love is not a rehab center for emotionally stunted adults, where your presence is expensive because you finally learned what it costs you to give it away for free. And let's be real. Sometimes people don't miss you, they miss the access. They miss how you made them feel about themselves. They miss the attention, the validation, the comfort. They miss the way you saw them. But they never once asked, how did I make you feel? They were so busy consuming you, they didn't even realize you were starving. And when you stopped caring, you stopped feeding egos that only showed up when they were hungry. You stopped being the warm meal for cold hearts. You stopped lighting yourself on fire so people can toast their little emotional marshmallows and then ghost you when they're full. Nah, we're not doing that anymore. I used to think being chosen was the prize. Like if someone finally picked me, it meant I mattered. But you know what I learned? Being at peace is the real win. Being able to sit in your own company and not feel like something's missing, that's gold. Being able to say no without guilt. Being able to walk away without begging for closure. being able to love someone and still leave. That's strength. That's evolution. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop showing up, stop explaining, stop justifying, stop hoping they'll change. They won't. At least not while you're still there, making it comfortable for them to stay broken. People don't change when they're comfortable. They change when the mirror shatters, when they lose access, when the silence screams louder than your voice ever did. But this isn't about them. This is about you. Your capacity to love is not a weakness. Your loyalty is not a flaw. Your sensitivity is not embarrassing. It means you felt deeply. You tried hard. You gave fully. You should never feel ashamed for that. But what you should feel is proud. Proud that you finally reached the point where your heart said enough. Proud that you realized love is not pain. Proud that you stopped caring, not because you're cold, but because you finally got warm with yourself. It's weird, right? When you finally stop chasing, everything you were running after starts trailing behind you. Like some twisted emotional GPS finally caught up. And now it's, wait, let's talk, or I didn't realize what I had. Brother, you had me in HD with surround sound, and you muted me. Now the signal's gone and you're wondering why the screen's black. That's not heartbreak. That's karma. That's accountability. And I know it's tempting when they circle back to think, maybe this time it'll be different. But ask yourself, would they even be here if you were still begging? Or are they only knocking because the door finally closed? Healing will make you suspicious of patterns, of words, of gestures. You start noticing how people only show love when it's convenient, how some apologies come with strings, how attention doesn't equal affection, how wanting you is not the same as valuing you. That's when the detachment kicks in. Not because you're numb, but because you finally see the game and you're not playing anymore. Listen, the right people won't need to lose you to appreciate you. They won't play hot and cold like emotional thermostats. They won't confuse you more than they calm you. They won't make love feel like a test you're always failing. They'll make it feel safe, simple, honest. They'll stay when it's hard, show up without being asked, see you without needing a performance. That's the kind of love you deserve. But first, you got to give it to yourself. You got to become the person you were waiting for. You got to stop begging people to treat you right and start treating yourself like someone worth staying for. Because the moment you stop caring what you meant to them is the moment you start remembering what you mean to you. And maybe you've been there. Maybe you're there right now, sitting in the wreckage of a love that almost killed you, scrolling through old messages like they might spell out something different this time, wondering how someone could be so close and still leave you feeling so alone. I see you, I've been you, and I promise, it gets better. Not overnight, not all at once, but one day you wake up and their name doesn't sting, their silence doesn't echo, their memory doesn't punch you in the throat. You just breathe, and it feels like yours again. So if you needed a sign, this is it. Stop chasing. Stop caring more than they do. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep people warm who never even offered you a blanket. You're not hard to love. You are just loving the wrong people louder than you loved yourself. And if that hits, maybe it's time to say less. Feel more. Heal in silence. Evolve in private. Let them wonder. Let them miss you. Let them talk to the old version of you in their head, while you go build a life the new you actually enjoys. Some people don't come back because they care. They come back because they noticed you stopped. And now they're confused. Because your peace looks a lot like punishment to the people who only understood you when you were in pieces. Let them wonder. Let them regret. You just keep walking.